Welcome, Marina and Sarah, and I will turn it over to Marina to do the introductions and to get things started.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Sarah and Greg. First of all, thanks so much for taking the time to come here. Greg and myself are looking forward, Sarah, to it, to learn more about it. But before we jump into the questions, I just wanted to do a brief introduction and just a bit of background to the audience, how we met. So I will start, Greg, if you allow me, with Sarah. She's a personal trainer in UK, and also she's a great friend of mine. How I met Sarah actually was back in Vancouver, and we kind of had the same interests, such as nutrition, sports. We started doing hikes together, and when Sarah moved back to England, she advised me that she got her personal trainer certification, and I was so happy because I was looking to work with somebody on my strengthening. So that's how we started. It's nearly, I think, Sarah, more than 2 years, April 2020.
Yeah, just about 2 years now. Yeah.
That's it. And I'm still training with Sarah. And honestly, I'm very happy just because she's very flexible, to be honest. I noticed a lot of progresses on my strength. I can now raise the shoulder. I can do the shoulder dumbbells with 8 pounds. And before I wasn't able, not even with 2.
Yeah.
And her works are just brilliant and they're very fun. So I really recommend Sarah. So thank you, Sarah, for that. If you allow me, I'm going to just jump in the questions.
Please, yeah, let's get started.
All right. So Greg and myself were wondering, because we're sure you get a lot of clients who are looking for easy results and quick results for weight loss. That's the trend right now. And we know in general we're not patients and we want a miracle result. And like, okay, I have a wedding. I just want to lose weight right now. I don't care how and what, but I just want that. What is your approach when you get these type of clients? Because we're sure you kind of get those one.
And to be honest, I have to say, I think we've all been there in one way or another. We all look for that quick fix, but which is quite hard as well, because my approach is to create a healthy lifestyle, which is sustainable. So instead of like steering my clients towards a diet, I try to educate them, about nutrition, training, of course, really important aspect to stay active throughout the day. And of course, the importance of sleep. So it's not the quickest way, but it's definitely sustainable and for the long term.
Right. So it's a bit in line with what we're trying here: research, but don't diet. Educate yourself first.
Exactly. So exactly.
And Sarah, there's so many approaches out there in terms of sports, diet, nutrition, and it's always a bit of misconception in terms of how would you define a balanced diet for an active person who would actually want to lose weight, or a balanced diet for a person who just wants to be healthy and fit.
To be honest, my approach here is very much the same, because like even as well, just mentioned it comes all, or like you mentioned, it comes all about balance. And so I would say, to break it down, for a person who wants to lose weight, it's more about the amount of calories, and instead of for a person who just wants to maintain the weight. So, but exactly the approach is the same. And for me, a balanced diet includes carbs, protein, and fats. So I don't really make a difference at all there. It's just exactly probably the amount we have. And of course, it all should be whole foods. And I encourage our clients to go for a variety of foods, such as whole grains, protein, like lean protein, nuts, legumes, fruits and vegetables. And as well, when it comes to weight loss, I think I have to understand the person in front of me. What needs to change? I have to get to know them. It's not always about the food or like why people doing the things they're doing, or maybe just their drink intake. And I'm just trying to go for nutrient dense food instead of like having like empty calories, such as even added sugar, 2 cups of tea. It's sometimes all already one small change, or like empty calories such as cake. So I'm just trying to educate them here once again about the value of food. Yeah, so it's all about exactly when it comes back, it's the amount of calories I guess we're taking into it. But I don't really do anything in a specific way. Or people who want to lose weight, they have certain types of food, and people who want to be active, they have that type. So it's pretty much all the same.
Right. So it's basically tailored on their needs. And Sarah, would you, well, we're always rushing around, and I myself personally don't read the labels because I don't have patience. I just grab whatever I get. But I kind of know a little bit the ingredients here, that I got used with the packaging. But so you would recommend actually to people to stop when they do their grocery, read the labels and make sure that they, what do they have to look for? Ingredients better or more ingredients better?
Yeah, I think this is always as well a good question, because as the world is so hectic and we are all so stressed, I think it's just good to plan ahead, to take time on a Sunday and to plan ahead of the week and really think about which food to choose. Because when we are stressed, that's when we tend to something which is available and which is the quickest. And this is then when we do those unhealthy choices, instead of like preparing on a Sunday, thinking about the week ahead. And that's not just for like breakfast, lunch and dinner, like for snacks as well. What do I want? And then preparing your food, I think sometimes just easy as well. Preparing your food at home is just way healthier as well, going back to the whole food. And yeah, but otherwise, exactly, I find food labeling quite interesting. And especially now these days, it's available almost everywhere. So we know exactly what's in the food. I always go, of course, should be less. I always like less sugar, less added sugar. So that's always as well my personal no-go to. As well, lots of items are available with reduced fat. So as well, of course, always go for a protein source and lots of vegetables. So even if you go now, pick up a sandwich, but then have a look on the labels as well and make an informed choice. Have to read the label. They tell you exactly what's inside, and then make a better, healthier choice. Like, I'm not going to say don't have the sandwich or don't have the crisp. Just maybe make a healthier choice by going for the low calorie version instead of, because I just had a look at Craig's. Craig's is really popular right here. And one of the sausage rolls contains 328 calories. And that's just by one, which is not even fill you up. So it's just choices like this, like just going for maybe a sandwich, which has lower calories instead of that one sausage roll. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, Greg. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and of course, in my research on this, there's a lot of, my face didn't come up there. Or maybe it is on your screen. In any case, I've been reading a lot about the different views on low fat and low carb. And it's interesting that Diet Doctor, for example, that was pushing for low carb and keto, they had a pivot like a couple of months ago where they say, they interviewed a bunch of people that focused on protein. Protein is the most important. And whether you have, low fat yogurt or high fat yogurt doesn't matter as much as getting the protein. But they do have a debate on this. And it's what your client wants, what they're comfortable with. And it turns out people can lose weight with low fat or low carb. It's the metabolic impacts they're really key. And apparently that's just different from person to person.
Oh, 100%. What works for one person might not work for the other. And it's just kind of as well, like, why not trying out? Like if my client wants to experience a certain diet, then I don't want to hold them back as well. Like I just give them my opinion or educate them what they should have and what. So it's 100%. So I know we've got with the diet lower carb and keto, and it's still, like, I know, still hugely popular, but as well, but I think it's because we're restricting ourselves, especially if we go starting a new diet and making those first initial changes towards our diet. This is what it brings the results. But I personally think as well, if we restrict ourselves too much within a month or 2 months, we're going to start craving those foods, and then we start becoming binging again. So like you said, I think it should always be a good protein, definitely, especially if you train. I like always a good source of protein, but also I do like carbs and healthy fats with that. Yeah,
I have a croissant every day, and that's got carbs in it. So,
yes. which is good. It makes you happy as well, isn't it? Having your croissant as well. If you should choose food you enjoy. But especially, I think most of the time it's portion control. Like if you have that one croissant, it's not going to ruin your progress. If you have 2 or 3 and then keep on going with having more bread, that's the quantity is what ruins it. Not the croissant is good, or that chocolate, or that sausage roll as well. But as long as you keep it within, if you have one sausage roll, it's not going to end your progress. But if you then continue have 2, 3, and then have that cope to it, and it's just all empty calories, and there's no nutrient value in it, and then this is what it ruins it for the long term then.
I'd say I've been reading a lot of books about diet, the whole diet culture and dieting. One book is anti-diet. They're all against it. People get so wound up in it. When you come into physical training, you're coming in it from the side. You're saying, let's move around, let's get healthy, let's do some physical work on that side. And that, it turns out that alters your microbiome. That gets you not thinking about food, but thinking about exercise. And I think that's maybe a better way to come at this. And it's good for your body. All these diet books talk about the importance of motion, movement, benefits. From that.
Yeah, 100%. I encourage always. It's just even just being active throughout the day, as I mentioned earlier, just getting your steps in, trying to get out there, definitely be active, anything you can improve, because lots of people come from a sedentary lifestyle, and it is the diet, but together as well with being active and exercise is just brilliant. What a good lifestyle if you can start on that. And
actually this morning I woke up at 5:30 and I did my Tabata, which Sarah prepared for me, which was brilliant. So now I feel very good about it.
Exactly. It's a good benefit from exercise. So which we definitely should as well talk again about it.
Great. Yeah, I'll take those notes. And Sarah, and we'll get quickly also into a bit about low carbs and keto diets. But before going into that, from your experience and research, do you think that metabolism can be changed? Are you a believer of that?
Yeah, to be honest, it's a bit out of my professional scope. I think it's almost better to talk to a dietitian or a nutritionist. What I can say is that we can change our basal metabolic rate, or short BMR, because when we do more exercise and we build more muscle, our body burns more calories. But as well, that would be quite as good. I think Greg touched on in previous podcasts about the energy balances and things. I think that would be as well a good topic to talk about. Yeah, but with the metabolism, it's just, I think, a bit out of my professional scope. But
Perfect. And now, since we touched that subject, and there's a lot of debate there, and I don't want to get into those things, but Greg and myself, we just want to hear your opinion about the low carb diet and keto. Do you think this improves an athlete's performance?
Yeah, my experience comes from working with the general population. My clients, they haven't done much exercise before, so I do always I think it's all about the balance. I encourage, and I personally find it as well, I need the carbs. I need that energy from the carbs. So it's always quite hard. But as well, I think we have to understand as well why people choose not to have the carbs. Why? Because they feel not good, they feel bloated, or why they actually choose to go on one of those diets and what made them choose that. So to learn about the person in front of me. So, and then maybe understand and do shifts around. But I think, again, coming back here to that balanced diet, and I find it's really important to go for the carbs, protein and fats, to not restrict yourself, because as well, you can't really keep that up for long. I personally find a keto diet is quite out there, isn't it? Quite hard as well, with only having 50 grams. So which then restricts your fruit and vegetable intake, because they contain carbs. I know carbs is not just always bread and pasta. Carbs we find in fruit and vegetables. I know even let's say sugars, and people always forget about it. I think when people think about carbs, it's all about bread and pasta. So, and then on the keto diet, I find it very challenging, really with limiting yourself. And then these are high in trans fat. So I think for the initial first couple of weeks, I think it's really helpful. And as well, if they want to have a kickstart, if people want to have a kickstart, and I think sometimes it's quite good to try it out and see if that works for their body. Maybe they find that works for them. But then as well, maybe then slowly adding as well other products again into it, like I said, fruit and vegetables, or But I don't think it's anything for the long term, anything sustainable. You can actually keep on continuing.
Yeah, I like that. The limit and the balanced diet, these are keywords that I'm going to write down right now.
Yeah.
And just to conclude, Sarah, are there any tips, recommendation, or suggestion for active people and athletes when it comes to a balanced nutrition plan?
Yeah, definitely. Always go. I think things are first, choose whole foods as well. I think one of the most important, choose whole foods. Go for less processed foods, which are just available all over now, and sometimes even cheaper, which is sad. Sometimes that the whole foods, processed foods are cheaper than whole foods. But yeah, cooking from scratch, of course. Always, I think one of the most important thing is always get those 5 portions of fruit and vegetables, a minimum of 5. Get your, exactly like the water, excuse me.
That's a good example.
Yeah, there we go. Always have your water bottle next to you. Yeah, go for at least 1.5 liter of water a day. And then of course, if you exercise, you might need a little bit more. But yeah, but minimize, exactly like mentioned, processed food, sugar, salt, trans fat, or like limit as well your alcohol intake. I think these are all great start for going for a healthier lifestyle. And as well, I think to like those 3 key points: start small, be consistent, and like instead of perfection, I think it's consistency in training, in nutrition, in all healthy habits. I think the second point, get in your steps. I think daily activity is so underrated, and it would be fantastic if everyone would just get out there, get your steps and be active. And then another key point, I think we're forgetting, I know it's getting a bit away from the nutrition, but sleep is so important, because this is as well, when we are tired, we make different choices, and then we always forget how important sleep is for our overall healthy being. Yeah.
Marina started mentioning resistance training, which in the books I read, the steps are great. They're important. They talk about cardio and so forth. I mowed the lawn yesterday. That got my heart going. But
yeah, 100%.
Training is a different kind of exercise. There's stretching and motion, but just I have a couple dumbbells and I do some basic work on that every other day. And that's apparently very, very important.
Oh, I think if not one of, I think resistance training is one of the best trainings. Of course, everybody should do what they enjoy. If people enjoy running, like I wouldn't say, oh, no, stop running and don't do that anymore. Like people should choose whatever is good for them. But as well to promote, like there's so many benefits which come from strength training. And especially as we grow older, like bone strength, like things we forget about it because our bones are getting weaker when we are older. And again, getting that muscle mass just as well to recover easily to when we're falling down and to recover quickly. And we need that strong body of ours. So, and especially as well when which hopefully we all not gonna have or getting sick. I think the recovery is just so much better after if we do our training and just get a strong body. Strong body, strong mind. That is exactly. And I think exactly it's just a habit. It's just starting. And once we start, and then we don't have to go for that full hour or like go for that half an hour. Sometimes just a little bit, just step by step, just starting small, create that habit, and then gradually build it up until you and then of course you decide whatever you like, then how far you want. You can take it anywhere from there then pretty much. Yeah, but I definitely encourage training into your routine.
Oh, this was actually great. I so much enjoyed and I learned so much, and I'm sure Greg as well. And for the audience out there, you actually mentioned sleep, and we will at the end of this podcast, the viewers will see also the link towards Sarah's website, and I encourage all of you to go and read, because she has brilliant articles on her blog post, and one of them is actually sleep. So we'll do that, and make sure you check that link, and because it will give you a great insight. And myself, when I read it, I'm like, oh, that's true. I recognize myself. So we'll do that. And thank you so much, Sarah. I forgot to mention actually at the beginning that this podcast was a little bit about the general idea about sports and nutrition. And we had Sarah, the personal trainer from UK, and Greg as well. And we're hope to do more podcasts with Sarah and talk a little bit more about sleep, about strength and flexibility exercises. Yeah. So again, thank you so much. I don't know, Greg, if you have more question and or we want to wrap up.
You do now in the lockdown, you weren't able to get in person. So most of your clients maybe are over Zoom now, or how does your business work in terms of sharing advice and programs with people?
I do have a bit of both. I do have a lot of in-client person, which of course started with me then once the lockdown was lifted and we were able to train in person. It still sometimes just happen outside because as well of the space available, but I do as well train online with clients, and it's a bit of both in person and online.
Yeah. One, it's me. I raise the hand.
One, exactly, Marina in Vancouver. So it's all as well. It's not just within the UK, but I do as well. It's all nicely a little bit spread out. So exactly can be anywhere, anytime, pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Perfect.
Fantastic. I want to say as well, thank you for having me, and it's been a great experience, and definitely love to be back.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll do that. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, Greg, and have a great day.